Okay.
It sounds much cleaner now. Perhaps it was just being too cramped over there. What do you think?
Also, I kind of put Rosin on the bow, but not.
Okay, good.
I
Carry
think
on.
I should put Rosin on every day though,
You should, yeah.
because I only do like.
Okay, what else are you going to work on?
I'm still working on this page.
Okay. lines of something, and there's mistakes in every line. And what you're doing is you're fixing the mistakes by sliding your fingers. And it seems like when people do that, that they're trying to save themselves time. But if you want to know the biggest secret about violin and practice saving time, is that it actually saves you lots of time to play it slowly and correctly the first few times. So if you wouldn't mind, would you please go back and play the first 5 measures of this and slow it down a tiny bit and see how it goes. Could you please? And set your violin up really nice on your shoulder. And when I say play it slowly and correctly, honey, I also mean, if you could, while you're practicing, pay a little more attention to a relaxed arm and being in the sweet spot, just for 5 measures. Because we're really not in a rush, okay? So just 5 measures with a nice deep breath.
Well, it's only 2 measures.
Well, it sounded like you were playing line after line after line. So I can come over here and take a look. Where you started here. Okay.
That's a different.
So why don't you play this measure and this measure and then stop here.
Okay.
And if you want to go on, you can do dun, dun, and you can play a long first finger F. Okay, so let's just play it separate bows before you do it, and stop the bow. I said play 1 measure, okay? And that means to play this in the rhythm and stop here or stop here. And you're just going on and on. So what I'd like to say...
Oh, I stopped here.
Well, it's too much, okay? So what I want to also say is that when you're going over to the D string, your 4th finger is following your 3rd finger really beautifully. It looks curved and beautiful. But as soon as you put it down, it looks stretched out and like it's really hard. So let's play the first measure, please, with separate bows, and really try to, get your elbow under a little bit if you need to. Good. Now slur it for me. Right, so your 4th finger still looks like it's extending. Remember that thing that Eugene was talking about, trying to move from here? See if you can make this part of your hand a little softer, just on this 1 measure. Okay, let's start here. Nice. Okay, I think if you can move your elbow over a little bit and help your 4th finger a tiny bit, maybe you can. Okay, and then it looks like this is a mirror image of that, right? It's yada, it's the same thing, right? Is it the same thing or is something different about it? What's different about
You
it?
shift.
And you're shifting where?
You're shifting to third position and then back to
And what
third.
color is third position supposed to be? Red. Okay, I
I
think
don't
that
know where all my pencils went.
I do. Yeah. Okay, so let's, no, I'll get it, okay? So, this is third position?
That's three.
You're right, that's third position, this note?
This, no.
Okay. So, and then is this third position still?
This is third position.
Okay. And this?
Yes.
Yes. And this?
Yes.
Okay. What about this?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No?
No.
This is first position? Okay, this doesn't have to be in here. Just keep it on this music stand.
Okay.
All right. Great. Can I hear you play this one? Separate bows. And you're going to do an excuse me for your second finger is going to go on, that's third, no, it's third position. Okay, great. Which measure did you play? Okay. All right. Well, really nice. Let me hear you play from here to there now. And before you start, I'd like you to make sure you put your bow in the middle of the sweep spot. You see, you keep setting it down right here. And I'd like you to be very, okay, go to rest position. You know, I understand that you really don't want me to interfere and you wanted to do this all by yourself. And I don't, when I'm talking, I don't want you to use your fingers on your violin. Okay, you're going to owe me 5 minutes after school for your lousy attitude right now.
Okay.
Okay? This stuff is hard. And if I get picky about where the bow is or how the fingers look, I'm really only trying to help you. And if it's too much information, then I'm sorry. But there's no rush. I think it would be fine if you played this measure really beautifully next Monday. I don't think there's any rush at all. I don't think Marcia didn't say learn this by tonight, did she? Okay, so there's no pressure. But what is going to be a pressure is if you rush through it when you're not working with Marcia and you learn it wrong and with bad form, and then you have to learn it all over again. And then it might be 3 weeks before you learn it, or you might learn it wrong and never fix it. Like Oliver. Okay, and I know that you don't want to practice like that. So let's try it one more time. Okay, start up here. When you put your bow on, try to put it on the sweet spot. So I want you to look at it where you put it. And where did you put it? Okay, so maybe yes, you did fix it. And that's the problem, is that you fix a lot of things. And the way to learn is by not fixing it and making sure that every time you put it on correctly. Because fixing mistakes is much harder than doing things right in the first place. I'm glad that you tried to fix it. But what I'm saying is fixing things isn't always the best strategy. Do you remember what Eugene said about you in the last lesson? On one of the passages? Do you remember him talking about you, that you fixed something all the time? Well, I do. I remember you can go to rest position when we're talking. I remember him hand here, please. I remember him spending 3 or 4 minutes with you learning a passage that you actually had to relearn because you had you were constantly fixing your fingers. I think it might have been one of the ones Marcia was working on with you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So sometimes it's best to slow down and not try to always fix it as you're doing it and using your beautiful ear to fix it. Sometimes you have to teach your stupid fingers, those darn little sausages that don't have brains. See, your brain is ahead of your sausages. Okay? So why don't you get ready to go to school, okay? And you can do a few minutes after school.